It's a run-up Sharon Das has made 1,000 times, and it's one women in general are making more and more, despite historically having quite low participation rates among female Australians. Cricket is leading the charge in overcoming past boundaries associated with women's sport. Sharon's first taste of cricket in fact came against the opposite sex, but rather than discourage her, it was a challenge she took head on.
They would have this sort of superior attitude towards you and think that they could get you out, or, obviously because I'm a girl and I don't have the extent of skills that boys may have, like physically. And yeah, so that was interesting, but I overcame that challenge obviously by getting them out and using my skills and, proving myself.
As one of few female cricketers growing up, Sharon admits it was a tough sport to get into, but that cricket has become a lot more accessible.
I had no idea that it exists, and I'm sure a lot of girls didn't, because I didn't see many other girls playing in the boys' comp that I played in. There was probably two or three others out of the whole comp. Definitely back then I would say it was an issue, but now as you see on TV, it's huge now, and there's a lot more publicity, and that should have got back then, but it's good that we're seeing a lot of change now and a lot more openness about it.
Part of this growing accessibility is the launch of the WBPL, a 20-over cricket competition specifically for female cricketers. After 2 successful seasons, the benefit of the competition for aspiring professional cricketers such as Sharon has been threefold.
This is their one opportunity to showcase their talent and really engage with the sport that they love. And 2020 is absolutely huge with women's cricket. Even in grade level, they put a lot of emphasis with 2020 cricket. We have a separate comp for 2020s and then a separate for 50-over cricket.
As a manager of cricket specialist store Kingsgrove Sports and a lifelong fan of the game, Dave Solomons has seen firsthand the benefits and overall quality of the WBPL.
I think women have more skill than the men's. In T20, the men are just about hitting it, where the women still have a bit of class in their shots. If you look at New South Wales, the women are actually paid full time now. So with the help of the Lend-Lease breakers, they pay them so they don't have to work outside of their cricket now.
With women now a fundamental part of a sport once dominated by men, cricket brands have attempted to compensate with mixed success.
Great Nichols have changed their branding. So cricket bats and pads and stuff used to be boys, youth, men's. Now it's junior, small junior, medium. They're changing the sizing to take the sex out of the brand. But I've never ever had a woman complain about it. If anything, it's normally the other way around. The women don't want to use the pink grips on the bats, but the boys do.
In March this year, on the back of improved media coverage, Australia's female cricket side, the Southern Stars, were offered a 125% pay rise, which will see their annual salary increase by $100,000. With over 20 years of experience covering sport, Ben Coles is under no illusion of just how important media exposure is when it comes to women's sport.
I think more and more that the professional and skill attributes of the female players will be recognised and appreciated, and that will only help to contribute to the growth. Because it's empowering a whole new generation of elite female athletes to come through the system.
Having recently handled the coverage of the WAFL and WBBL, Ben believes the media has adopted a much more appropriate stance when it comes to reporting on women in sport.
I think 5 years ago it was all a bit sort of oh, well done. And now it's just level playing field. It's take it how it is, Gender shouldn't mean anything. If you're a brilliant athlete, you're a brilliant athlete. Cathy Freeman won at the Sydney Olympics and nobody said, oh, didn't she do well because she's a girl?
Nearly a decade since she first proved female stigma wrong by claiming the wickets of her male counterparts, Sharon Das is hoping to climb the newly established ladder of professional women's cricket. After a brief break from the game, Sharon is set to reignite her push to become a professional by returning to where it all started.
I'll see how I go, what my options are, but I definitely want to play this year. Get back into it and just train in the nets with my dad and brother, which is very competitive.